Hi everyone, welcome to True Crime and Tarot. I am Natalie, the founder of this YouTube channel. So today's case is on a girl which is called Relisha Tenau. I'm not too sure if that's the proper way of saying her middle name. But this is about an 8-year-old girl that had gone missing and she had disappeared. So I have done a lot of research into this case, and I've also done some tarot reading to see what had happened through the tarot cards. Like I just say, some of it may not be accurate 100%, but there is got to be some truth within the reading for the outcome to come out as it is. So I'm going to start off now and tell you the research about this little girl when she disappeared, and then I'm going to do at the end then the tarot cards to it. So the little girl was 8 years old when she disappeared. She'd missing since March the 19th, 2014 from Washington, D.C. She was born on October the 29th, 2005. Her race is black, her hair is black, and her eyes is brown. She is a female. She had the height at the time of her disappearance was 4 foot. Her weight was roughly around about 80 pounds. She is an African American who has not been found. She had been living in the DC General Shelter with her mother when she befriended a janitor called Khalil Tatum, which was a former felon at the time. Rudd stopped attending school, but was a month before her absence that was reported to the police. Investigation revealed that the last sighting of her had been weeks prior when she was caught on camera with Tatum at an area hotel. Tatum's wife was found shot dead in a hotel in Prince George's County, Maryland in mid-March, and at the end of March the searchers found Tatum's body in a shed in the Kenilworth Park and Aquatic Gardens, shot in apparent suicide. Her mother's name is Shamika Young. Khalil Tatum was a 51-year-old male. He was a janitor at the shelter and had a felony record for burglary and larceny and break-in and entering. Tatum was imprisoned from 1993 to 2003 and again from 2004 to 2011. He was hired as a shelter janitor by the Community Partnership for the Prevention of the Homelessness, and Tatum was known for inappropriately fraternizing with the shelter residents and or paying attention to young girls. Tatum befriended the young and bought her daughter a tablet and computer and took her to see Disney on Ice. Eventually, Young allowed Tatum to take the girl away overnight, allegedly to stay with him and his grandmother. Rudd suddenly stopped attending school in February, but the mother provided a note saying she was having health problems and was in the care of Dr. Tatum. The school contacted Tatum at the number provided, but he failed to show up for the meeting with them, and a counsellor contacted the police to report Rudd missing. The Metropolitan Police Department of the District of Columbia launched a missing persons probe on the 19th of March, by which point had not been in school for a month. The investigation revealed Tatum and Rudd had been caught on camera walking down a hallway in the Holiday Express in Northeast Washington, D.C. on the 26th of February, and footage on the 1st of March showed her walking with Tatum to a room in the Days Inn on New York Avenue in D.C. The March the 1st footage provided to be the last proof of Rudd when she was still alive. If anyone has any information about Rudd's disappearance, please call or text 202-727-9099 or text 50411. Relisha's stepdad, Antonio, grew up in the oldest of 9 children by the time Relisha Rudd disappeared in 2014. She had already been through a lot in her young life: housing insecurity, homelessness and more. But these challenges was not limited to Relisha. The adults in her immediate circles, her mother Shamika, her grandmother Melissa, stepfather Antonio, Aunt Ashley, all survived the poverty, housing and family instability. When they were young, examining their past is key to understanding Relisha's life and the cycle nature of the trauma. Melissa Young, Relisha's grandmother, says that she had a tumultuous relationship with her own mother growing up. Young says her mother struggled with her mental health and leaving Melissa to do many things that parents typically do, like cooking, cleaning and paying the bills. When Melissa was older and had her own family, she also dealt with domestic abuse, and she feared the impact it had on her children. "I got 4 daughters," she said. "I don't need my girls seeing that," end quote. "And I definitely don't want my son thinking it's okay for a man to go smacking a female in the face," end quote. Young also struggled with providing a stable housing. After an altercation with another parent, her kids were taken away, including Shamika, Relisha's mother, and Ashley, Relisha's aunt. While in foster care, Shamika and her siblings didn't have the easiest time. Shamika struggled with behaviour issues and was placed in a mental health facility for children. Her sister Ashley had her own challenges when she's aged out of foster care. She had nowhere to go and stayed at the DC General, the shelter Relisha has disappeared from years later. Her stay was short. Quote, "I wasn't able to get sleep. People were stealing stuff," Ashley says. "I pretty much left and stayed on the street until I got my own place," end quote. Antonia, Relisha's stepfather, is the oldest of 9 siblings and also grew up in a foster care when he was 12 years old. His 2-year-old sister was killed by his mother's boyfriend. The loss of his sister had the impact on his ability to process trauma and impress grief. Quote, "When I was a kid, I was quiet. I held a lot of stuff in," end quote, he had said. Quote, "That's another reason why I am always angry." And after that, Antonio lived in the series of foster homes. One experience stands out in his mind. Quote, "One staff member even burnt me on the shoulder with a cigarette," end quote, he recalls. And this is where I had sat down now and I started to do the tarot reading and ask a few questions, and these are the questions that I asked beforehand. So what happened to Relisha? Who was involved in the disappearance of Relisha? Where is Relisha now, or her body? And what is the final outcome of the case of Relisha? So the first one that I had asked then, which was what happened to Relisha Rudd. So the first card that came out then was the reversed Emperor. So there was an older male that was very corrupt and aggressive, that was highly confident. He was very irresponsible and involved in illegal activities. The next card then was the Fool card. So they had travelled to have a new beginning. There was a lot of trust that Relisha had with this man, and he took a risk in the spirit of the moment. He's very fearless and took an opportunity to follow his instincts. He may have been also a dog owner at the time. Reverse Magician card. The male that Relisha was with that had a lot of frustration and was very arrogant. There may have been a personality disorder or had some sense of a schizophrenia. He had some history of being a con man, being violent, and also a criminal. Reverse Ace of Pentacles. There was some corruption and poor financial setbacks with this male. Queen of Cups. There's a mature female that is caring and very nurturing, that was very kind and well respected, that had a lot of family values, and she was very supportive and tend to express herself also. The Hermit card then was the next card. So there was a lot of loneliness and being very much withdrawn. May have been involved with the wrong people and the wrong crowd. And they also keep themselves private and is literally lying low. Page of Swords, there's an enemy that took Relisha that had an accent, maybe a public speaker that is also a spy. There is also something about news of legalities over a child also. Reverse Page of Pentacles, so Relisha skipped school. There may have been a lot of learning difficulties with Relisha as well. Reverse King of Wands, the male was very rude, very ignorant, very forceful and controlling. He was very hot-tempered and nasty and a risk taker and very, very argumentative. The next question was, who was involved in Relisha Rudd's disappearance? So, reverse King of Swords. So this is an older male that's very rigid, cold, uncaring, negative and cruel, very sadistic and controlling, that is very brutal, very aggressive, very dangerous, may have been an enemy, that is a criminal, and he may be like a father figure. Two of Swords then, there was a mental decision that needed to be made and being caught in the middle of a situation. There's also a lot of denial that is going on as well. Knight of Swords, so there's a dispute and arguments and someone that is risk-taking, that is taking action, that was very, very blunt at the time and being very direct, and it was a sudden arrival. Reverse Sun, there was the feeling of something being off and being too good to be true and having a lot of niggling worries. Hierophant, there's someone that may be very religious and traditional that may also be married. Then I asked, where is Relisha Rudd or her body? Eight of Cups, this is near water. So she's to be near water, she's abandoned and someone is to walk away and letting her go. There's a lot of emptiness and the sense of a void and being alone. Seven of Wands, Relisha did put up a fight and a lot of defense that happened. That was to do with her enemy and fighting her own corner. Wheel of Fortune, there's to be a positive change and success and a success outlook in the case. There is also Six Pentacles, there's a lot of giving or receiving. There is to be donations, support, help and community help to bring her home. Moon, there's something about Relisha's mother that has some suspicions, especially at night. There is a lot of disturbed sleep and a feeling of a loss and trying to recover from trauma. The Tower, catastrophic events that happen so suddenly. It shook the world and the people turning against someone very close. Reverse Three of Swords, so there's to be suppressing painful memories and the worst is to be nearly over. Then the last question I asked then, what is the final outcome of the case going to be? And we had the Page of Wands, so there is to be some news coming in and some travel around the case. The Hangman, there is support coming in and someone is coming in to surrender. Reverse Ace of Wands, there's some challenges and delays and the case is not going to close as of yet because there is going to be some setbacks. So that is what I come out through the cards. There's got to be some supporting evidence through this of some type of truth. It may not be 110% accurate, but there got to be some truths within this reading for this to come out. I really hope they find Relisha, and I'm sending all my love and praise out to Relisha and her family to hope to get to the bottom of her case to see where she is. Let's all try and support and get this video out and get some awareness out to help find Relisha. Love and light from myself to everyone, to Relisha and her family, and I see you all again soon. Bye.